When OP finds out about the secret fling his girlfriend was having with his cousin, he nearly loses his mind. But will he leave this relationship in the dust? Join us as we explore another heartbreaking cheating story from the world of Reddit.
Me and my girlfriend got together during sophomore year of high school, and we'd known each other since we were kids. I genuinely thought that I was one of the lucky ones, someone who found their person in their early years. I mean, I wanted to be with her for the rest of my life, but now I'm so broken. And to think that my own family played a role in my heartbreak makes it worse. During the last few months of our relationship, my girlfriend was acting in a way that I thought was a little strange. We never really went through each other's phones, and she didn't really hang out with her friends if I wasn't present. This wasn't because I was controlling or anything, but we shared a friend group. Around May, she started acting differently. I wouldn't say she was overprotective of her phone, like she wouldn't try to hide the screen or anything if I happened to see it, but she was on it a lot more than usual. I remember one time in particular when I left my phone in my room because I was charging it while we were watching a movie. I was curious about the cast and asked my girlfriend if I could use her phone to Google something. She let me do it, but she was glued to my side, staring at my every move. Which I guess might not be that weird because it's her phone, right? Whenever I think back to stuff like that, I get paranoid and think, what else was I missing that could have been a sign? The biggest missed sign was that she was hanging out with friends by herself a lot during the summer, which initially I was fine with. I was happy that she made new friends that she felt comfortable doing stuff with, but telling you guys this story makes me feel so dumb for missing stuff like that. Things really hit the fan in August, though. One morning I was at her place, and while she was showering, she got a text message from my cousin Tony. Tony had sent her a message saying, "Can you call me?" At the time, I didn't think much of it, but I did think it was a little weird, but nothing crazy. For context, I am, or I guess I should say was, very close with all my family on my mother's side. The entire family would get together almost every other week for dinner, and we'd also make time to celebrate people's birthdays. I loved my family. Since I didn't think anything of it, I just walked to the bathroom door and said, "Tony needs you to call him." This is where things got weird. She replied, sounding pretty worried, asking, "What happened?" Looking back, I think she thought they'd been caught, but her reaction threw me. I just told her that nothing happened, but that she needed to call him back. Later on, I asked her what Tony needed, and she said that he was just confirming what we were going to be bringing to the family dinner that weekend. I thought that this was extremely weird. Why did that need to be a phone conversation? Why did he message my girlfriend and not me? I don't know how to explain it, but my gut was telling me that something weird was going on. On a Friday, my girlfriend told me that she had plans with her friends that night, but said she'd be done early and wanted to watch a movie. She told me to have one picked out for when she was done, and she'd come back to my place and spend the night. I think in hindsight, this might have been her way to try and make it up to me. Like, maybe she was already feeling guilty, I don't know. When she left, something felt off. I only knew one of the friends that she claimed she was having dinner with, so I did something that made me feel bad in the moment. I messaged the friend and asked when they thought dinner would be over because I wanted to try and surprise my girlfriend. She told me that she had no idea what I was talking about, and that she had no plans with my girlfriend. I brought up the amount of time that they'd been hanging out during the summer, but she said that she hadn't talked to my girlfriend for a week. I decided that I was going to trust my gut, so I drove to Tony's place. Either she wouldn't be there, and I would feel relief, or she would, and I would need answers. Well, her car was there, and I think at this point I knew. I knew what was going on, but I just couldn't accept it. My brain wouldn't allow me to believe it. The front door was locked, but I got lucky because the door that led into his garage wasn't, nor the door that led into the house from there. You can imagine what happened next. It was literally like a scene in a movie. She even said the stupid cliché line, "It's not what it looks like." Luckily, I managed to keep my emotions in check long enough to not say anything and get back to my car. I've never been the best mentally, and I've always struggled with certain thoughts. I drove to my best friend's place, Jason, and told him everything. I think I was still in shock because I hadn't even cried yet. He looked worried and asked if I was okay, and that's when it fully hit me. I broke down, and I hadn't cried like that since the passing of my dad. And during that time, I had my girlfriend to comfort me, but now that same person had betrayed me. I'd never felt pain like that before. The only family members I've talked to have been my mother and 2 sisters. My younger sister and mother think I should talk it out and get some answers, but my oldest sister doesn't blame me for not wanting to. I just don't know what to do. I don't know why it happened. I didn't mention this earlier, but Tony's quite successful, so is that why it happened? Because he's better than me? I admit that I did let myself go a little bit since high school, but nothing terrible, just a little bit of weight gain. But does that make it okay? Was it my fault? Was I not treating her the way I should? I really thought she was going to be the person I spent the rest of my life with. All I do is work, come home and lay in bed. How do I get my life back under control? How do I trust people? I feel like I find myself even doubting my family. I'm so paranoid. What if they knew something and just didn't say? Should I consider talking to them? Should I consider hearing out Tony and my ex?
First things first, OP shouldn't blame himself for what his girlfriend did. She made the choice to sneak around behind his back, and to make it worse, to do so with a member of his family. If she wasn't happy in their relationship, she should have done the grown-up thing and leave. People really underestimate the pain and trauma that can come along with being cheated on, and this event will probably haunt OP for quite some time. Anyway, let's see what's being said in the comments.
Armor Teague says, as someone who was in this similar situation a long time ago, the best thing to do right now is continue going no contact with both of them. They are both pieces of crap who knew what they were doing and didn't give a damn about you, despite whatever BS they've tried to feed you. This is in no way your fault, and trust me, your cousin's definitely not better than you just because he's been successful in his life. This just makes him an even bigger prick who gets off on his failures as a man by dictating over someone for his own hubris. And your so-called girlfriend is even more disgusting, not just with the cheating, but of all dudes. Choosing your own family to screw. Take it from me, they did this directly to hurt you. Don't talk to either one of them because you won't like what you hear. They'll give you the typical cheater's handbook of excuses to justify their trashy actions in blame-shifting, gaslighting, and mental gymnastics. You don't owe them a thing. In fact, the only thing you owe to yourself is to make sure enough family and friends know the truth about what they did to you so they don't control the narrative. Cheaters hate being seen as the bad guys in their own stories, so hold nothing back and gather enough support from good and trusting friends and family who care about you. Be prepared for your ex and your cousin to come after you to break you. Hold your ground. In the meantime, try to occupy your time by getting back in touch with yourself. Get back into exercising to purge those images out of your mind, or use it as fuel to make a change to be a better you. Get back into hobbies to find new ways to be happy again, or learn new ones. Meditation is a huge help for the mind, or go for some nice night drives to clear your head. OP responds with, "Thank you so much for the response. I appreciate it. Your words mean a lot." This might sound dumb to some people, but hearing this from a stranger as opposed to a family member makes it feel more genuine in a sense. Also, I'm sorry you went through something similar. Waster Times says, women are hypergamies. You should work on yourself. Lose the flab and get in shape. Decide what you want out of your life for yourself, and believe it or not, it has multiple benefits. Number 1, you're chasing your dream and becoming what you want to be as a man. And number 2, when a man is driven by his purpose, women find that very attractive. Move on from your ex. There's nothing you're going to hear or learn that is going to be beneficial, as they showed you who they are as people.
Since one of the commenters seems to have had a similar thing happen to him, we'll share their story in the next video. In regard to this story though, I hope OP is able to recover from all this, but it won't be an easy journey. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.